All right, so we are technically on, so I'm going to check sound and do my other things while you guys do your watch parties.
So you have to think first. Here we go. Can they repost it later if I screw it up? Hey everybody, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Good evening if you are watching with us from Asia. And good afternoon to all of you who are here in the Midwest. Hey everybody. Welcome to the Solminod Show with Sonya. My name is Sonya Doswell and I'm your host. We're so excited that you guys are here. We have a fantastic show for you guys today. Now you remember that last week we covered mental health and we had Jennifer on with us, and this week we have Dr. Carrie Getzmeyer in the house. So we're so excited. We'll get to Dr. Carrie in just a moment. I have a couple things that I wanted to go over. First of all, I hope you're all faring well in this COVID climate. I am so sorry for all of the struggles and the ongoing, but you know what, you guys, there's hope. I think our leadership is making progress, and hopefully we're approaching the final stretch here soon. So hopefully we can get these vaccines out there. I know I want to get mine just as soon as possible. Yeah, definitely. I know that there's so much that is unknown, but we do know that we still are in the midst of a global pandemic. So let's take the conservative route if possible. Mask up, stay safe, be considerate, and we hope that you all stay safe and you all stay well. Okay, so you guys know that every week I am going to highlight a specific restaurant. We talk about the importance here at Solminod about supporting our local businesses, our small businesses, and every week I will highlight a restaurant or two. And so this week, the restaurant that I've selected is Murphy's out in Atlanta. Hotlanta. Hey, Hotlanta. Look at I haven't even had breakfast yet. How good does that look? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Gabe. Murphy's in Atlanta. It is delicious. They're known for their brunches on Saturday and Sunday. Apparently, they are fantabulous. Oh my goodness, I so look forward to sitting out with my girlfriends outdoors on a patio somewhere in the warm sunshine where it's not 20 below like here in the Twin Cities, and sipping on a mimosa and enjoying a fantastic brunch. It makes me just want to hop on a flight right now and get down to Hotlanta to go to Murphy's. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch. Check them out, you guys. And if you are still being super uber conservative and you're not dining indoors yet, you're certainly welcome to call, place your order, and drive by and just pick it up. And of course, I'm sure there's delivery options available as well. So check them out, you guys. Murphy's in Atlanta. Check them out. All right, you guys, we have a great show that's coming up here on February the 24th. And I wanted my producer, Gabe, to highlight that if you can. Y'all know that I was an international flight attendant for Northwest Airlines for 21 years. And I did take an early retirement package because I needed to hold on to those flight benefits for life, which I use often. I am so grateful for them. It was a great career. There is no other career on this earth like the life of a flight attendant and the career of a flight attendant. I have to tell you, I keep saying I'm going to write a book. One day I'm going to write a book. I swear I will. It needs to be turned into a play. I mean, the stories that we can tell. But I've decided that I'm putting together the Flight Attendant Forum, and it's going to be a segment that we're doing here on the Solminod Show with Sonya on Wednesday, February the 24th. You guys don't want to miss this. We'll be airing live here at noon Central Time, but of course you're always welcome to watch it later on at your convenience. And I'm bringing in a bunch of my former colleagues. Oh my goodness, you're going to love it. Some have recently retired, some are still flying, and if you want to know what it's like to be a flight attendant, if you want to hear about some layovers, you want to hear about some passengers and COVID life at 30,000 feet, you don't want to miss the Flight Attendant Forum on Wednesday, February 24th. So, Gabe, let's give them a little sneak peek.
I'll turn my mic off, and then it's all you.
Okay.
And it's all you.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's Sonya with the Solminod Show with Sonya. I want to invite you to join us right here on Solminod. Watch us live coming up on Wednesday the 24th at noon Central Time. I'm going to be welcoming... Take two. Hey everybody, this is
as good as you can go.
Well, that was the first one.
Let me just I'll turn my mic off, and then it's all you. Sorry about that. I guess that was the wrong one. I apologize. They got a little slice of reality there.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? It just basically duplicates, what I'm saying. So you guys don't want to miss it. February the 24th. What do I always say here at Solminod? Laughter is a merry medicine. It is a great stress reliever. So you have to keep bringing laughter into your day. So,
we'll play the right one at the end, too.
Yeah, okay, Gabe. Thanks for always coming with the jokes, Mr. Comedian by trade as well. All right, you guys. So let's see. For those of you who are watching us live, please know that you are encouraged and more than welcome to join us live. You can submit your questions and your comments right down there on the bottom in the comment line. And let's see if I can manage both pages here. We will do our best to get to your questions and your comments, any concerns that you might have as we are talking with Dr. Carey today, and we'll get back to you. If you are watching the show at a later date, we still invite you to be a part of the conversation and submit those questions, comments, or concerns, and we'll be monitoring this, and we'll get back to you and address whatever the comment was. So we thank you so much for your support. We thank you guys for sharing this. Right there in the lower left-hand corner, it'll say share with the little arrow. Click on that, and you can share it with your sphere of influence on your Facebook page or on your company page there on Facebook. And of course, you guys know that this is all on the website at solminod.com, as well as streaming live on the YouTube channel. Okay. Enough of where you can watch the show. Basically, it's everywhere. It's from the ABC to the XYZ. All right, let's go ahead and move forward here. We have Dr. Carrie Getzmeyer with us in the house. Doctor, thank you for making a house call.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Solminod Show with Sonya.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you. You know, I should let you guys know, y'all know that I'm newer here to the Twin Cities, and I sustained a head injury about 2 years and not quite 2.5 years ago, and horrible accident. But I'm still suffering from this traumatic brain injury, the concussion, my chipped teeth, everything that happened. One day at one point, I'll do a whole show about it. I've been introduced the hard way into the life of TBIs. But my friend and Dr. Valerie Scow down there in Johnson, Iowa, had recommended that I go and see Dr. Carrie Getzmeyer because she is just so great working with patients who have suffered concussions and are suffering from TBIs. And she has just been a great and a wonderful help for me. She has a thriving and successful business, and her belief system and her practice and everything that is so important to her and to her patients aligns with my own belief system in the way that I look at and approach, obviously not as a doctor, but the soul, mind, and body, hence the name of the show, Solminod. So Dr. Carrie is now here today as my guest instead of as my doc.
Yes.
But I'm so glad that you're here. So Gabe's putting everything up here on the screen. You guys can see the Lake Point Chiropractic and Wellness, or you might just see it as Lake Point Wellness at lpwellness.com. Check them out. Pay attention to the show. Get out your pen and paper. You guys are going to get so many tips and ideas and just nuggets of wisdom and truth that we love to share with all of our guests here on the Solminod Show. So without any further ado, Dr. Carrie, talk to us about your practice. What are you guys all about? What is your philosophy? And describe the modalities and services that you offer.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we really embrace exactly everything you're talking about with that connection of mind, body, soul, and insides. So the biochemical piece.
Okay.
So in our practice, we have chiropractic care, functional medicine, energy healing and Reiki, massage, acupuncture, and Soma yoga therapy. So it just covering like all of those bases of that inner body health. And, you know, connecting and helping the body heal from the inside out and from head to toe. And, you know, in that mental, emotional, spiritual piece, we have great referrals and great therapists and other healers that we work with even beyond what we have available in our office.
Yeah, and it's so expansive. I mean, I get my supplements through you guys. I get that, what is that coffee tea?
Yes.
What was that you had?
So, yes, I only drink organo coffee, so I love has reishi in it, so it's alkaline, and it has many other health benefits like anti-inflammatory properties and immune-boosting properties, and it's all I've done. It was a game changer for me versus like having spikes and crashes and the roller coaster of caffeine, and so it just you know, is a great way to like up-level my daily habit and still drink what I love.
And still drink what you love. And of course, you know, that gallon of water a day, you guys, you know, I'm always talking about that gallon of water a day. I guess you'll pee out what you don't need, right?
Yep, exactly. Lots and lots of water. It's very important to stay hydrated.
Yes, great for the skin, great for the hair, great for the nails, great for the brain, great for it all.
Great for it all. Great for detoxification.
Great. Yes, that's right. The full meal deal. And you are the full meal deal there at Lake Point. You really are. I mean, when I walked in, I You guys know, like, my discernment is so sharp and everything, and I don't let anybody just lay their hands on me or touch me or anything. I'm really particular. I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm very discerning, have been for decades. And I walked into Dr. Carey's practice, and I was just like, it felt like I was home. And that's how I had felt when I was seeing Dr. Valerie Scow, who is also a colleague and friend of yours, ironically. And when we moved from there up to here, that was just one of the main things that was just so important to me, that I could find another home to transition to. And that's exactly how I felt when I went there. So Lake Point Wellness has it all. And it truly is like warm and cozy. And it smells good too.
Thanks.
Like, it's just like clean air, natural, not perfumes. And
Exactly.
yes.
Only essential oils here and there.
Only essential oils here and there. Okay, girl, you know, and we have had so many shows on this, the stress that we have all been under collectively, all together, you know, in our country, you know, and really the whole world, but, you know, in our country here for the last year, the last several years, you know, it's just been crisis after crisis, and it has just been a very tumultuous time. And I know that I talked to you guys a lot about the spiritual aspect, and last week with Jennifer Lebonsky, you know, that was on, we talked about the mental health and the importance of that. But Dr. Carey, just the stress in this time. Yes, we're going through this, but how can we navigate through it and come out better and balance that, say, stress or sleep or exercise, wherever? Can you talk to us about stress?
Pieces. Yes. Well, I will tell you, in over 20 years of practice, I have never seen this level of stress across the board, from not only the structural stress of people working at home, or, you know, just the tension that they hold in their body, to the mental emotional stress, and for others, financial stress. And so I think it's really important to connect, like laughter. I think definitely laughter is the best medicine, making sure you have some connection of spirituality, whatever that is for you and your family.
Right.
And then also those other pieces of, like, making a little up-level better choice of our nutrition or exercise, and how is my sleep? But do I need to get more support from that? And there are like really simple tips of just breathing, you know, just maybe you just set a timer, you know, like 4 times a day, and you just calm and breathe and just hold on your heart and hold on your belly for, you know, and just like pull yourself down. You know, when we get so stressed, it's like everything just goes. And
you're all over the place.
I
just have this vision of just all over the place. You're just going in 50 different directions, scattered.
Bring ourselves back down so that we don't, you know, something else doesn't bring us back down.
Yeah.
Like some injury, some illness, something. You know, I always think of it as, it's like when we're so scattered, when so many balls are in the court, when we're overwhelmed, you know, it's like we are our own, you know, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon just floating off into the sky.
Right.
So just like bringing yourself down, like starting with the breath, getting in some exercise, you know. Yeah. With regards to exercise.
Yes.
You know, great tips of, I like to do things that I love. Right? Some people are just like, no matter what, I'm just going to do my treadmill, or, you know,
why not enjoy
I
it?
make it social activities.
Yeah.
I do interaction things. That works for me, to always have accountability. You know, other people, you know, I have a lot of patients now that they're now on Zoom calls all day. So they don't walk to the bathroom. They don't walk to their car. They're just sitting, you know, they never get a move.
Right.
So they're like setting timers a few times a day and walking the stairs. Or if there's a Zoom call that they can sit on, that they don't have to be on their computer, they could do a walking Zoom. Or even as just a 7-minute workout. Or Tabata's like a timer with a 4-minute workout. So you're 30 seconds off, 15 seconds off.
Right.
You know, and just to keep yourself moving, and, you know.
And how about sitting, if you're sitting, how about sitting on the yoga ball or the...
to just help with your core. Like,
just
that's
to help with your core.
Too, like, just really engaging and sitting, you know, like we joke, like they're called sits bones for a reason.
Yes, they are.
Because you're supposed to sit on them, right? You're not supposed to slouch down, and you're not supposed to sit too.
Use that trunk.
Right?
Yes.
You just want to be like really grounded and centered on there. And, you know, it's like something that you pay attention to and reconnect to all day long.
Right. Yeah, I like that. The other thing that you had mentioned, you were talking, you had mentioned sleep.
Sleep.
Talk to us about sleep, the importance of sleep.
Necessary, right? We only heal and rest and recovery when we're sleeping. So if we are not sleeping, it's just like your body is just always in stress mode and stress mode and stress mode and stress mode. It just can't catch up. It can't heal. So, there's just, like the good sleep hygiene, like shut off our devices,
right.
Blackout curtains, dim lights. Are you having, are you having a glass of wine or sometimes 3 for people or to unwind every night? Or can you just get like a little nighty-night tea?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some nights just have a little cozy nighty-night tea and, and just to like wind down. There's different pieces too. Like sometimes like what we do with functional medicine is we look at those deeper pieces. If those basic sleep hygiene things aren't helping, it could be related to your melatonin. It could be related to some of those other stress hormones. And, we can talk about like how we can measure and look at those numbers very easily so that we know like, I don't feel stressed because you're just like most people don't feel stressed if they're in their daily.
Sure.
Or once they're done with the stress, like they feel like, oh yeah, we were stressed before, but now we're fine. But your body, when it's under stress and it's like going and running from tigers or it's, that chronic low-grade stress, you just become more and more in nutritional debt.
Right.
So it's like credit card debt, right? If you're burning out your nutrients, then your body is going to be more inflamed. It can't detoxify. Your GI health isn't going to be as healthy. You know what I mean? Which is going to affect all of your hormones. It can even affect your melatonin. You just keep spiraling down and you can't get back. So that's that piece of why functional medicine helps and can benefit because it looks at rebuilding you from the inside out. Because we can't just eat the same thing if we went, we lost all of our nutrients for all this stress, and let alone just daily stressors, and then put COVID on top of it.
Right.
And it's, times 10,000 for most people.
Right.
It's been horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said something that maybe some of our viewers aren't familiar with. You said functional.
Yes.
Functional care.
Yes.
Functional medicine. So can you define that for our viewers?
Yeah. So what we look at with functional medicine is instead of just looking at, sometimes we do look at basic blood work and blood panels, but if you look deeper, you're looking to those deeper root causes.
Sure.
So we're looking at how are your hormones actually functioning? How are your stress markers and how is that stress response actually occurring in your body? What is our vitamin D and our omega-3 levels?
Right.
Are we looking at, are there foods that are super healthy, but they're still causing inflammation and causing irritation to your body? So it's about looking at those. What are your detoxification pathways and are they working properly? We're exposed to all these chemicals that we were never designed to process in our body.
Right. And in your
It's
practice,
never supposed to be that way.
in your practice, it goes just beyond the guidance and the counseling. Like you have the science to back it because you can do the lab work.
Yes.
And you can, which we're going to get to here today. So get ready. Wendy Olson, this one's for you. If you like needles and blood, this one's for you, sister. And so we're going to have the science to back this, and so that you have those markers, you have that gauge, you can see at the starting point what the goals are and whether or not you're achieving those goals.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is something that we had done when I first saw you after my accident, and I think it'd be great to do this on the show again as a follow-up sometime.
Yeah.
And put myself out there, you guys, but it's important, it's important. We want to get these numbers and we want to know where we're shining, where we're at our best and what we're doing right and where our weaknesses are and areas to improve. And then Dr. Carrie will help us with how to make those improvements, how to make those adjustments and those tweaks so that we can be all that we are meant and called to be and be our best selves in our soul, mind, and body.
That's what we were designed to be.
Yeah. I love that.
Living our best life and feeling
living our best life. Yeah. Amidst the crisis.
Amidst the crisis.
Because surely this won't be the last.
Well, no, it will not.
No,
Right?
it will not. Talk to us. You were talking about inflammation. Can you talk to our viewers about inflammation and how damaging that is in our psyche, just in every area of our body?
Everything. Inflammation is really that root cause of every disease process, and inflammation and toxicity. So then depending on your genetics, then that's what drives you down certain pathways, right? Like is my family propensity higher for cancer? Is mine higher for Parkinson's? Is mine higher for autoimmunity? And when we get exposed to things, inflammation can come from the foods we eat. It can come from not having enough of the right nutrients. It can come from chemicals and things we're exposed to in our daily life, trying to eat. I love EWG.org has like the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. When you're looking at food, we want to try to eat organic and free range as much as, grass fed as much as humanly possible. And sometimes people can't, or they can't afford to. But it looks at the Dirty Dozen or the Clean 15. If you're picking and choosing your vegetables and fruit, which ones can I budget differently?
Sure.
And which ones have the highest levels of pesticides and chemicals, right? So that's a great way to look at that. So all of those pieces lead to inflammation. You can have too much inflammation if you don't have enough vitamin D or you don't have enough omega-3s, which is what we're going to look at testing. So it is that piece. And if you think about that can drive EWG.
Sorry.
Yep.
I'm going to put this on for
Environmental Working Group.
Environmental. Okay, good.
Yeah,
EWG.
and it's so cool because you can also look up at all of your body products, home care products, and they'll rate them and guide them to safest to
not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much to get this out of your house ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like the
radon alert.
The basics
Code
that
red.
you can do, right, on the daily.
All right, girl.
Yeah.
Inflammation, we want to keep that down and get these tests and find out exactly where we're at, get that gauge. Can you talk to us about GI health? What's up with the gut?
So everything is up with the gut.
Everything is up with the gut,
Everything's up with the gut, right? Not only is there that, like our intuition, like listen to your gut, there's that for a reason, right? When we talk about the soul and mind and body.
That's right.
But with the gut and with GI health, it drives literally everything. So it can drive something as simple as my sleep is messed up because I have gut infections or parasites that I didn't even know about, or I'm not making enough melatonin.
Girl, did you just say parasites?
Yes.
Okay, seriously? Mm-hmm. Okay. I do know a lot of flight attendants that have had issues with parasites because of our international travels and stuff. But you're talking about like right here in the States, like people can just have. Do you want to talk to our viewers about that? We can get them from food and water, but they're all over. Like there's so many different variants of parasites versus just like the actual, what you think of as like the tapeworm, the critter.
Yeah.
The critter.
The actual thing that you're like, oh, I'm going to see this come out,
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, right? And there's things of like, with a gut, you can have parasites, you can have bacterial overgrowth of the wrong kind. Not, we take probiotics to balance out your gut, but you can have the wrong overgrowth. SIBO's now becoming so common in people. You can have yeast overgrowth. So if any of that's out of balance, our hormones don't work right. Our immune system doesn't work right. Even thyroid, we think of that too.
Right.
Like that our gut health makes a difference. And more importantly, besides immune system, is brain health. So now we come back to now we have all this stress, like just with function, paying attention, ADD, but also anxiety and depression is such a huge piece of that. There's a whole gut-brain axis that if that's out of balance, we can't heal and be healthy and strong. And
then you're really
have
jacked
that
up.
Vibrancies. Yeah. So we start with gut stuff with almost everyone, almost every functional medicine doctor addresses that first or addresses that within almost right away.
Okay, so I had a question that did come in this week. Somebody was asking me, what is the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic?
A prebiotic gives you the kind of building blocks for you to keep making your own. So those prebiotic fibers so that you can have a healthy flora, and then probiotics are the different strains that you can put back in.
And flora is what?
The flora is, so we all have bugs in our gut, right? We have good ones and we have bad ones.
Okay,
right?
we have
So,
bugs
which
and critters. We have a lot of critters.
Yes, which can also be called flora, right?
Right?
Probiotics. So, but if you have too much of the bad, then
Right?
the bad ones keep eating the nutrients and kind of pooping more toxins. And if you have enough of the good, then the toxins get eaten up and you just keep flourishing with more health and more decreased inflammation and more immune function.
So was Oprah right when she said our poop should be in that big S?
It should be like, it should come out. It should, there's actually.
Yes, we're talking about poop here on
Yes.
the Solminod Show with Sonya.
Very
Yes.
important, right? Yeah,
Yes.
you should have at least one bowel movement a day.
Yes,
It should be
one
nice.
a day.
It should sometimes, some
have-
people have 2 to 3,
Yes.
Like ideally after every time you
At
eat.
least
you have
one a day,
some-
though.
Yes, at least one a day.
Don't you
Constipation
know
is
people
terrible for
who,
you.
well, of course you do,
It's
because
horrible for your body.
I have friends who said, oh my gosh, I haven't been able to poop in almost a week. I'm just mortified for them. I'm just thinking they must be filled with so much toxicity in their body.
Yeah, that's one of our primary methods of getting toxins out is having daily bowel movements. And so if we're not going, that's a big, it's a
Right.
big red flag that we have to heal and fix that piece first, so that your body can be healthy and strong and, get rid of what the junk that we're
Get
not
rid of all
supposed to
that
keep in.
nastiness.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been a regular girl my whole life, and I do pay close attention to that.
Yeah,
and
right.
And I know the importance of that, and so I am so grateful. Let me fix my wire here. I'm so grateful that that I am a regular girl. Are you a regular girl?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I can't either.
horrible.
Would you feel like sluggish or sick
You can have
or?
chronic fatigue.
Oh.
You can have headaches. It can affect, even mental, emotional
It
health.
can jack you up in a myriad of ways.
Yeah. It causes a lot of problems.
Wow. Okay, there it is.
Important
E.
group, right, yeah.
Okay, so there. Yeah. So I'm typing in a couple comments
Yeah.
as it's coming in, and then I had the other questions that were coming in this week. All right. So there you go. Poop,
Mm-hmm.
GI health, muy importante. All right. You brought some of your favorite tests
I did.
with you. Let's talk about these tests that you brought. So you said 3 of them are just easy finger prick blood tests that can be done at
Yes.
home or in the office.
Yep.
Can you talk to us about what do
will.
you have here?
Okay.
Your
well,
box
I'm
of
going to talk about
goodies.
this one first.
Okay.
And then we'll do the other ones.
Great. Sounds good.
Okay, so this test, you just do 5 simple blood spots.
Okay.
Okay. And depending on your friend that you shouted out,
Oh,
would be not
Wendy.
so simple.
Yeah, I should tag
not
her
so
so she
simple
can
for
get
Wendy.
queasy and puke while she's
Simple-
watching this.
But simple for most, can even be done on, with children.
Right?
But what's great about this technology is that it looks at that inflammatory response that
Okay.
our body's having. As I mentioned, sometimes even food that we would perceive is good for us could be causing inflammation in our body. So we've had patients that, oh my gosh, that made a total difference in my weight loss. That made a difference in my mood. I cut that out and my sleep is better. It just depends on the person,
Okay.
on what's driving that. So it looks at the inflammatory response, not just an allergy response. So
Okay.
it looks at both.
It looks at both.
Yeah.
May I hold this up and
Yeah,
show this
for
here
sure.
to our viewers so that they can
Yeah.
see this? Here, which camera am I at? Right
Yeah,
here.
so you can look at
There we go.
just the top 22 foods, but you can also look at a panel. Most people do a panel of 176 different foods and additives, so you know what you really need to stay away from, like worst things. And when people are changing their diet, if they're not already limiting things, sometimes they're having a really strict diet and they still don't feel that great, right? So that's that deeper layer of what's going on, back to poop. We actually do stool test kits at home for people too if we're worried about something more and it's not healing at a deeper level.
Girl, one time my doctor, it was probably like 10 years ago, one time my doctor had told me that I was supposed to send a sample in, and he sent me home with this little pouch,
Yeah.
envelope thing. I was so grossed out, and literally, it was probably 15 years ago, I was too embarrassed to do it, and so I just skipped it.
Yeah. I mean,
Isn't that terrible? I mean, you
You'll have
guys
to
are
feel-
doctors. This is part of our bodies. It's part of our health. What is the big deal? Just
Right.
do your duty, put the
Yep.
sample in there, send it off to the lab or take it back, whatever they tell you to do. It's not that serious. I'm totally preaching to myself right now.
I know, but they are inconvenient. It's not fun, My friend always asks, like, do you still make patients collect their poop in a French fry container? Because it's like from the old diner ones. Right. Sometimes, depending on the lab, they used to come in the white and white and red. Now they're more eco-friendly and just tan. But
friendly, okay. I don't even like bringing samples in of my dog's doo-doo. Okay,
right? No,
both my
one
pups. I mean, okay, all right. See, what do we say at Solminod Show? We're always keeping it real, right?
Yep.
So
there's nothing realer than collecting your stool and sending it to the lab.
There is nothing. No,
that is as real as it gets.
That's as real as it gets. Yeah. It is. Okay. All right. So keep talking to us about this.
So that's checking additives.
And then afterwards, you get the report. You get the numbers. You do a follow up. What happens?
Yep.
What's next
So then
step?
we do a follow up. If you have inflammation because of foods, then you also have some form of, how do we heal your gut? Like you think about like what's called leaky gut. And I think of leaky gut when you think of, these harsh Minnesota winters. And then the potholes come through even worse, and then you just fill them up, right? So you have to have a smooth lining in your intestinal tract. You don't want to have, that gaps, because then toxins can get into your bloodstream instead of just your nutrients, which then, drives more dysfunction. And
because A affects B affects C.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So that comes back to that toxicity and inflammation drives all these disease pathways and all these symptoms. So everything comes back to how can we help balance that out for each person. So it's customized for each individual, because everybody's results are different. I mean, it's just like our DNA. I mean, it's totally customized. So the care afterward is totally customized per individual based on the results of this fit test. Yeah, and the company even gives you a little. You can even get a little app with your results. So then you can open, because sometimes there's cross reactivities to certain foods.
Okay.
So you can open it up and be like, oh, what are my foods? And you when you're at the grocery store, or you're out and about, you can see it. So it's very convenient.
I like that. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Okay. Test number 2. We'll stick with blood.
Yay! This is for you, Wendy.
Test number 2 is of my favorite test is vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Love to get my vitamin D, but
it's it's our sunshine vitamin. However, a lot of people wear sunscreen. Right? So then you're not getting the sun.
Right.
And we're in Minnesota.
Yes.
And
Minnesota.
Yes, exactly. And we do not have access to sun. Right? Vitamin D, we have a vitamin D receptor on every cell in our body. It's necessary for everything.
Everything.
So, and immune function, huge, very, very important.
Okay.
There's so much research related to viruses, especially really common ones right now, and vitamin D function.
Yes.
There are relationships to full body inflammation, to mental health, to even, what's happening with everything with our immune system, with our skin, with preventing cancer, with healing, autoimmunity.
Affects mood.
It does affect mood too.
And energy levels.
Yep. Yeah. So medically too, we look for, that's that other piece of when you talked about functional, we look at more function. So the medical reference range is, over 30, but, for health, we really like 60, 80, higher.
Okay.
There's a great, the Institute for Functional Medicine had a great, research article years ago that shows like, okay, if you're above this level, then that helps prevent recurrence of this, or that helps, prevent this disease process, or that's why those levels are higher versus just, being just at 30. And I would say, in Minnesota, you are vitamin D deficient until proven otherwise.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, just assume so. So true. I take my vitamin D. I'm a good girl. I forget sometimes, especially since my accident. My memory has really gone south. But I golf. I'm an avid golfer. So in season, I get about 6 months of golf in, and of course, I travel a lot to warm tropical destinations. Love to get my vitamin D. But I also wear sunscreen 365, just to try to, take care of all this and stuff. But, when I'm out there and exposed for hours, half a day, all day. Clearly, I'm going to be getting what I need. But in those other 6 months, my goodness, I mean, just going down to the Caribbean once a month is not gonna. It's every day, regular maintenance
every day.
Yeah, and that's the IUs or the
So vitamin D's and IUs.
Okay, and
also you want it with K2 now. So that helps you absorb it.
Okay,
that absorbability is such that's the it's been like 3 to 5 years, but the newer research, is that you want your vitamin D with K2 and looking at that and that piece of, absorbing its,
I'm not taking K2.
So we need to up-level your vitamin D.
Okay. Yes, we need to do that. All right. So what are we going to do with this vitamin D here? How does this, all right. Should I show it to the camera first?
Yep.
See what we've got here. Okay.
And I'm going to talk about omega-3s also because we're going to do 2 tests back to back. So
there. All right. So we're fitting to do a vitamin D test, you guys.
We're doing a vitamin D test, and then we're also going to do an omega-3 test.
Okay.
So
all right.
Right. So we'll do the test, and then I can talk
now,
about
are you going to do both of them together? Okay, and then we could talk about the omegas after because we really need to talk about that. I love my omegas. I've been taking omegas for, I don't know, 30 years? How long? As soon as I started flying, I have to tell you, here I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I'd already been a professional makeup artist, so aesthetically,
good for skin.
Yeah. And I was, into, good skin and everything, right? So then I added to my repertoire, I became an international flight attendant. So then I'm doing both. I have to tell you, I'm on these long haul flights and I'm going to Sydney and I'm going to Tokyo and I'm going to Taipei and Seoul, Korea and everything 3 times a month, all the time. Yeah. And I have to tell you, there were some of the more senior flight attendants that were in their, late 60s, some of them in their early 70s. And I just knew I need to do better. I need to be more diligent. I need to work harder. I need to take better care of myself. Yeah. And of course, they probably didn't have the training and the teaching, that is so readily available to us today. And so I just was determined and committed, and I started taking my drinking green tea. In Japanese, that's called ocha. Brown tea is kocha. Green tea is ocha. I started drinking my ocha. I even took an ocha supplement. And my a multivitamin. Here's a young 21-year-old, right?
Yeah.
True, I may have pooped it on the bottom of the toilet. Who knows of the quality? But just where my mindset was. Right. And my omegas. Yeah. Because it's so good for the skin.
So good for your skin.
And that cabin air is just sucking the moisture out of us. And I was committed to drinking a gallon of water a day. Yeah. And I had already been wearing sunscreen every day and stuff. And I knew to drink water and the weightlifting, for the skin and for the bone density and all that. But I just thought, no, I just want to be as fit as I can possibly be in my body with my DNA. And so I just made that commitment and that decision to be proactive at that young stage in my life.
Makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's do this, girl. What are we doing? All right, mask up. Here we go.
I'm going to mask up because I'm going to get a little upper close and personal here.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And Gabe, if you want to get another shot, you can. Mask and glove up. All right. This is happening. Wendy Lou, this is for you. This is happening.
All right.
I was getting one of my shots. I don't know, something I put on Facebook, and she was like, I puked in my mouth just a little bit. All right, can y'all see what she's doing here? Here we go. This is happening.
Okay, so this is why we do it in the office, but people can also do it at home.
Pull your mic a little closer to you. There we go.
Speaking through.
All right, you do it in the office, but people can also either come and pick up the kit, or they can order, and it can be mailed to them. So we have so many viewers out of state, so they can certainly contact your office and get that kit mailed right to their home.
Yeah, we even have it on our website.
Wow, okay.
You just order it and get it shipped out. And then we just fill up.
What am I doing? Am I saying a prayer first? Totally not necessary. We're good.
I feel like you need to.
I don't. Honey, I've had 3 children. You know how many needles have been in this body?
Right? Okay, so I'm going to take this hand.
Yep. There we go. sorry. I'm teasing. You know I am. All right, so she's squeezing it out to get the sample there. Do I have enough blood to give you? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Super easy to do at home as well.
Yep.
And you said this can even be done with children.
Mm-hmm. A little more screaming, but it's doable. Mm-hmm. Just more the anticipation, you know. It's the easiest. The reason I do this on the outside, it's less painful than if you go on the end of a fingertip. So it looks like an odd angle, but so that it's not as painful.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you are so right. I've never had it done on the side.
Yeah, the end of your fingertips are super sensitive.
Oh, you're so considerate.
So
Thank you.
No one wants to do that. It's super painful. It's awful.
Right. No need to do that. And with the little ones, it's just a lot of distraction and, you know, hey, a little bribery never hurt anybody. Every time after my kids did a modeling shoot or went to the doctor's office, we always got to go for ice cream afterward because ice cream was not a normal thing that was in our household.
Right.
So it
it's
truly
a
was.
special treat.
It truly was a special treat. Look at that, and I'm good to go, yo. I am good to go. No
There
big
it
deal.
is.
That's
Two
it.
little cards. That's that.
Okay, so the 2 little cards, and then what are we doing with these 2 little cards?
Then we will register them
Okay.
and mail them in. Mm-hmm. And then in about 2 weeks, we'll get the results back. Maybe less.
Just as easy as that.
Just as easy as that.
Now, how do they mail this in? Is there an envelope or
There's an envelope that
There's an envelope that comes with it.
So I have I'll put it back in the thing. I'll put your name and your details on it, you know, and we'll, put that in a Sharps container and send it off in the mail, and there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it.
I know.
All right, can you talk to our viewers about the power of omegas?
Yes, omegas. Omega-3s, they're essential. They're an essential fatty acid. So that means we can't make them,
Okay.
you know? So we need to take them. And 2 of the main omegas that we think of, omega-3s, are EPA and DHA.
Okay.
So important for inflammation, preventing, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, for brain health, big time for brain health.
Big time.
Yeah. For pregnant mommies, for babies, like really, really big time for brain health. So, and also when we talk about skin, right, like the outside of all of our cells too are made of omega-3s.
Sure.
Right? And skin, this was just like blew my mind in my 20s, is that when I found out that most of the time these, when people get the little bumps or the little red things, that's almost always, not 100% of the time, but almost always omega-3 deficiency.
Oh, yeah. You guys know what she's talking about? The little bumps that you see on, on the back of people's arms? Oh,
or that redness. Yeah. And if you get the right omega-3, and then if that doesn't clear within, a month or start improving, well, then you probably have a gallbladder and digestion issue and you're not bringing down your fats.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just like one, our body leaves clues. It wants to be in balance and it wants to be healthy.
Sure.
So in this omega-3 plus, you're going to look at your total omega-3 status.
Okay.
And then we're also going to look at omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. Right?
Okay.
We're supposed to be balanced with omega-6 to 3s, like 2 to 1, perfect ideal, but maybe up to 5 to 1.
And what are the differences between those?
Omega-6 is just a different fatty acid, but in our more common, and it's healthy for us, it's great for us, but in our more common SAD, standard American diet, those omega-6 to 3 ratio can be 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1. And so the more that divide happens, is the more inflamed you're going to be.
Okay.
The more it's going to set you up for disease. The more at risk you are for any type of inflammatory disease, cardiovascular, cancer, things like that.
Then you could really find yourself getting into some major trouble.
You can get into some major trouble.
Yeah.
And then it also is going to look at your our trans fat ratio, and we want our trans fat ratio under 1%.
Yeah.
And, most people are. Very few people are high anymore. And especially if you're taking the time and wanting to measure your omega-3s, you're probably avoiding trans fats.
Yeah,
Trans fats are the processed fats.
Sure.
Which are still in anything that's really really processed, there's
Right.
still some trans fats because they changed the labeling. You know, so if it's less than 1%, they can say 0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right.
it's just like one of those little
Tricks.
tricks. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, these Pringles are fine. You know,
There's so many tricks.
Well,
You know, in fact, we talk
maybe
about
not.
Can we talk about labels for a second? Because I have to tell you, one of the things I had learned about, oh gosh, probably about 20 years ago, I was so excited. You remember probably 20, 25 years ago when everybody was going through that fat-free, sugar-free phase, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it
I
was
grew up on it.
artificial. Yeah.
I
just,
drink everything.
Right. Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah, because that was the
Diet
healthy
Coke
way to
was
go.
healthy because you didn't have calories.
No.
You didn't have fat.
No,
Yeah, it's
not at
great for
all.
you.
Like we were just eating
became
styrofoam.
safe, right.
And so I was looking at it, and I was looking at the calories and reading the whole thing, and it has sodium here, and here's the cholesterol, and here's da 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 da. But it was like in each serving. Well, what do you mean the serving? And of course you have a package this big, and it's like, well, there's 8 servings in here. And so I was like, wait, you mean this is in one bite? Yes, all of that is in one bite, sister.
Yep. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I had an aha moment with peanut butter with that once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many years ago.
Yeah. Well, the serving size in peanut butter is a tablespoon, right? Yeah, on
was
all
like,
of the FDA labels, yeah.
Oh, I just had 1,000 calories
tablespoon.
of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Whoopsies. That's
exactly.
weird. That our weight loss program at Lake Point wasn't working. In a serving. And I was like, yeah.
You
Or
know what?
almonds. Yeah.
Yes.
That was my aha
Yeah.
moment in my 30s.
Uh-huh. Isn't a serving of almonds 6 to 8?
Yeah. I mean, maybe 10 if
Right?
you're lucky.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Yeah, it's not 3 cups of almonds.
Oh,
in a cup. It's not
I
3
remember reading
measuring
that
cups.
from Heidi Klum's trainer had a book, and he said your serving size of almonds was like 10, and I
Yeah.
was so mad at him. And I was like, how can you only eat 10?
Right.
How are you not eating 30?
Well, even worse, what
That's
about
ridiculous. They're
cashews?
trying to starve you, right? I know.
Oh my gosh. What
Yeah.
about cashews? We love cashews.
Yeah.
And
Healthy protein, good
yeah,
fats, veggies.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
and we do. We get all of our stuff is organic, and we get that big, huge container, from
Yeah.
Costco, the organic, and it's not salted or anything,
Right.
But again, it's 8 cashews. It's
Yeah.
not.
It's not handfuls.
It's not a cereal bowl.
Right.
Cashews.
Nope.
One time, doctor, when you come and make a house call, I think that would be a fun segment to do, or to bring some different products in with the different labels that we know are very deceiving.
that would be really
and
fun.
let's break those down and go over those, because I think that y'all would be having so many aha moments.
Wait a second. Yes.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Shocking, right?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move back to these tests then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the omega, we have the D.
Yep.
We've just tested on me, and so now these results will come back when?
About 2 weeks.
In about 2 weeks, and then will you come back on and can we do a follow-up?
Yeah.
We'll
Be
share
fun.
my results with everybody.
We'll share your results. We'll talk about,
Keeping it real.
good omega, the pieces of vitamin D
Yeah.
and omega 3s and why we like this and why we look for that.
Uh-huh. And you know what we can do, because we had checked my numbers October of 2018, right?
Yeah.
Right? We can compare those numbers. We'll just say it's probably not as good as it was back then, but that's okay. That's okay. We're grateful for those moments of starting over, new beginnings, and reset.
Right.
And we're going to talk about reset here just a little bit more. Okay, so what is this right here? This
Right.
Dutch.
Yes. This Dutch Plus test.
All right.
Yeah.
Dutch Plus. I love the Dutch.
Yes.
I've been to Amsterdam a few hundred times. There we go. Love hanging out in Dom Square. Oh my gosh, I would go there. I would go there and get my coffee. Well, of course, I did in Paris and Italy and stuff as
of
well.
course.
But the cheese. Can we talk about the cheese? Can we just talk about the cheese? Yeah. And then I would get the stroopwafels, and I would.
Unless it comes up on your fit test.
Yeah, unless it shows up on my fit test. Then I'm really busted.
I get a dairy. It makes me like mucus.
Yeah.
The times
Yeah.
of COVID, I can't say, well, I just binged on cheese.
Yeah. No.
With my runny nose. No,
Yeah.
I have to stay away from it.
No,
now,
right.
completely.
Okay.
Okay,
Dutch.
so the Dutch test.
Why Dutch? Talk to me. What's
Okay,
up?
so it isn't for the country. It's
Right.
more for dried urine
Okay.
testing,
Who knew?
And saliva.
Okay.
But what it looks at is when we talked about that stress marker,
Uh-huh.
so cortisol, it should raise in the morning like good morning, I'm ready to get up, my blood sugar is spiking, I'm
Right.
ready to take on the day, and then it should go down through the night, through the afternoon, and then over nighttime it should go to its lowest point and come back up again.
Okay.
So if it's spiked up too high or if it's too low, it shows that there's that imbalance between our adrenal glands,
Okay.
which sit on our kidneys and our back, and then in our brain, our hypothalamus and our pituitary. So this HPA axis. So it's looking to see, are you running on empty?
Right.
Where are you at in this burnout? And where are the parts, and like how more specifically can your body be healed? Then it's also going to look at melatonin.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, melatonin is very important for sleep, but it's
Yes.
also a super, super powerful antioxidant, which means antioxidants, they said it wrong back in the day, but damage to your cells is oxidation. So antioxidants are the good things that help prevent cellular damage.
Right. It's oxidation that's bad.
Yes, and so the antioxidants...
Biting into the apple, watching it turn brown.
Yep, exactly.
That's oxidation.
Yes, so you want antioxidants, good
Yeah.
fruits, vegetables, blueberries, pomegranates.
All those colors.
All those colors, all your colorful
Polyphenols,
plate.
resveratrol.
Yeah, exactly. And melatonin is too. But if it's too low, again, you make a lot of it in your gut.
Okay.
It's depleted from blue light. You know
Again,
what I mean?
we're back to the gut.
We're back to the gut.
Yeah.
So it can look at if it's low, then we don't have enough. Then it also is going to look at our hormones. So this is a saliva and urine test, and you do
Okay.
like 5 different times throughout the day.
Okay.
So it's looking at it throughout your day. And it's looking at, instead of just looking your blood hormone levels, it's looking at the metabolites, meaning how are your hormones actually functioning. So the reference ranges for hormones are so big, but that doesn't mean like, oh, my hormones are normal, but it seems like I'm in menopause, or my menstrual cycle is totally off. Or
Right.
for men, it can also be in the tank. And when you look at that piece of metabolites, it also means, when we talked earlier about detoxification, you're really specifically supposed to go down certain pathways to get rid of chemicals. And a lot of chemicals act like estrogens in the body. They're called xenoestrogens. So it looks to see, is your body have enough of the right nutrients, and is it following these 2 main pathways correctly?
Right.
And if they're not, we need to support your detoxification so that you can not end up with disease. Or,
Yeah.
people come in usually with symptoms, but you want to have that healthy balance. So it's actually looking at that function of like, okay, well, why don't I feel good even if my blood looks fine?
Right.
So it's
Okay.
deeper and more than just, okay, my progesterone's low, I'm going to take progesterone. Or my estrogen's low, I'm going to, my cycle's off, and my only other option medically would be to just like override my cycle and go on the pill.
Sure,
which
right.
then puts more toxins into our body.
Yes.
And so it's not fixing the problem, it's
So
covering it up really well.
The cycle is just repeating itself.
Yeah.
And just, you're kind of getting yourself, you're in that,
Exactly.
that gerbil trail.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
or wheel spinning around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are also some markers of, do you need more B6? Do you need more B12?
Okay.
So that, how high that oxidative stress,
Yeah.
how high is that level? We can look at all of that with saliva and urine. And it's just such a complete test that gives us so much information.
So thorough.
Yeah.
And I was just looking
my
on here,
favorite
and
test.
so it says 6 saliva collection devices,
Yep.
and it says 4 dried urine collection devices. And so you're not sending in 6 cups of urine. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's urine strips.
It's really convenient. I mean, as convenient as, urinating on a piece of paper
Yeah.
can be. It's very convenient. And
you
drying
know
it for
what, though?
24 hours.
I think that's a little bit more convenient though than
Yeah.
scraping out your poop and putting that in a dish or something.
Much more convenient. And also the saliva piece, they have these little, kind of like, they're just like, kind of like the end of a Q-tip, but big.
Right.
Right? I
Right,
don't know.
yeah.
Like that little foam, or
Yeah.
not foam, but cotton that you chew on
Right.
and have in your mouth so you don't have to spit into the little tube.
Yeah. Okay.
I've done both, right, over the years with different testing.
Yeah.
Very inconvenient to
Yeah.
be spitting into a tube and fill it up to a certain level.
Yeah,
It makes it so much easier.
I keep getting my COVID test through Vault because it's free
Yeah.
here in Minnesota. And
Yeah.
so I log on, and the nurse is on there with me, and I spit into this vial. And I mean, it's probably like about the size of my finger. And y'all ever try to spit in? I mean, that's kind of it's a little bit.
lot.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a little bit to take into account. It's,
Well, yeah. And, some of the other, why we like the Dutch test is some of the other companies, like you have to spit into it. I mean, it doesn't give as much information, and
Right.
it's not compliant. It's not easy.
So this is really thorough. You do this
very
at
thorough. It's the
home,
most thorough
send it
test
back
I've seen
in,
in-
results come back
again about 2-3 weeks.
about 2 to 3 weeks, and they can do the follow-up with you.
Yep. So then we set up 45-minute consult and follow up, and go through like all of the lab results and create a plan for them
Yeah.
to heal.
Create a customized plan per individual,
Absolutely.
not throwing you into some broad-based category.
Right. Like here's your HRT.
Yeah, right, right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, it's the first of the year. You know, everybody's into dieting and stuff. And some people think, oh, I think I'm going to do a cleanse. I think I'm going to drink water, lemon juice, throw in some cayenne pepper and starve my body for a while and call it a cleanse and call it a day.
Yeah.
You have the answer, don't you?
We do.
Yes. Talk to us
Yes.
about this 7-day cleanse, please,
So our
that you
7-day
offer.
cleanse that we do, so we do it twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of, all those habits we talked about, all those things that we talked about throughout the show today are on the daily, or
Mm-hmm. Okay.
try to be on the daily.
Right. It's just
no one's
maintenance.
perfect. That's our,
Maintenance.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just maintenance,
Okay,
right?
right.
But twice a year, we do a more, a little more intensive cleanse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing healthy shakes that are specifically designed. The difference between just like, oh, I'm just grabbing my shake wherever,
Right.
because there's great, different than when we started in practice and started with functional medicine and nutrition. There were only like 7 companies. You
Sure.
know? 3 were great,
Right.
and 4 were terrible.
Right.
And now there's so many amazing companies with so many amazing products. But the difference is this really is designed so when you are detoxifying and going through that detoxification process, you need to most toxins are actually fat soluble. So you need to change and pull them out of your cells and tissues, and then they have to go in through liver and kidneys, and you have to excrete them,
Okay.
right? Mm-hmm. So necessary to fix your constipation first, right?
Yes,
You got to
right.
do that first.
Yeah, A before
But-
B.
A before B. But you need different nutrients for phase 1 and different nutrients for phase 2. So you need both of it to be able to get and excrete the toxins out.
And this is all medical grade.
This is all medical grade.
Yeah, this isn't over the counter.
Yep. So what we use are, sold to professionals.
Sure.
And so there's the original, which
Okay.
just says overall general liver and detoxification support.
Okay.
And then the other one is for hormone balancing.
Okay.
So hormone balancing can be used for, mostly it's done by women to balance cycles. Am I moving towards menopause? Have I been
Right.
struggling with some fertility support, or do I just want to prep my body? Or do I know that I'm exposed to more, for both men and women, do I know that I'm exposed to more xenoestrogens because I don't maybe eat organic as much as I want to?
Yeah, sure.
Or I looked on EWG, but I really like this product,
Yeah.
Like there's a couple, I try to be really clean, but there's a few I'm like, I'll just do my detox shake every day.
We can't be perfect
Most
every
days,
day.
I'll throw in some coffee enemas, and I'll just, there's a few things that I like to, so then I can support that to get those,
And
those chemicals out of my body. Yeah.
And I see that Gabe has this up here on the
Yeah.
screen right now. So what are we looking at?
So we're looking at just what your week's kit is. So in your week's kit, you have all the nutrients you need. You are going to do shakes, tons and tons of shakes, and then you're going to also eat really lean, green, clean, so no dairy, gluten, sugar. And then we throw in 20 servings of antioxidants per shake. So
Okay.
you're getting like 40 to 80 extra servings to help with detoxification a day. And then last but not least, some healthy coffee that's infused with reishi, because oftentimes that actually helps with liver and kidney function and supports liver and kidney function.
Okay.
So oftentimes what happens is when you do a 7-day cleanse, or you could do a green tea version or a red tea if you're not doing caffeine.
Sure.
Because then you don't have to get rid of especially in the winter, your warm beverage that you love.
Yeah. Yes. We
Because
need
most
that.
detoxes before this, we used to always say no coffee.
Ah.
Yeah, because it can stress your liver. It can
Right.
stress your adrenal glands. But because of the reishi, it helps your liver function, and it helps balance GABA, that calming neurotransmitter, so you're not getting that same like spike with caffeine that you would get normally.
Right.
Yeah. So
Fascinating. So
Great.
how can people get their hands on this 7-day cleanse?
Yes.
Wait a minute. You said you do it twice a year. So what months do you guys do this?
Usually end of February
Okay.
and September.
Okay. And how can our viewers get their hands on this?
They can call the office,
Okay. And what is the telephone number?
612-922-8100.
612
922
922 8100.
Yep.
Okay. There it is. All right.
And then, or they could email info@lpwellness.com.
Okay. info@lpwellness.com.
And that should
okay.
be on our contact. Those details on our website should be on the contact
Yeah,
page, too.
okay.
So, yeah,
And they can get their own kit.
you
And
get your own kit. I would grab a friend or a partner.
yep.
You know, we used to do like big, like when people worked together.
Yes.
Went to the office, you know, you'd grab a bunch of coworkers.
Back then, I remember
grab a
when
bunch
people
of
used to work
girlfriends.
together.
Yeah, remember that?
I remember that.
You got to,
Okay.
but it's helpful to do it with, you know, someone else at home or a spouse or
And a list had just popped up here. It
Yeah.
looked like all the different things that you had talked about that were covered. So they can get their own, get a partner, get an accountability partner. It's fun,
much helpful. Yeah, it's
funner
helpful.
to do it together.
Yeah.
And go through the process together, and then they can contact you guys there at the practice, or email you, call you, whatever, with any questions that they might have, with some follow up, and it'll be available again to do in September.
Available.
Just
And
part of our regular
You can
maintenance.
start whenever. Like some people are like, oh, I want to do it before I'm
Right.
going on spring break.
Right.
Or after.
Or after.
Depending on the person. You know, sometimes because, you know, a lot of people, you're flushing and you're cleansing out.
Yeah.
So people tend to lose a few pounds on this
Sure.
because they're like, you know, they're lean and clean. So some people
Sure.
want it before spring break,
Yeah.
depending on where they're
Sure.
going. Yeah,
Flatten out that tummy bloat just a skosh.
exactly.
Yeah, sure.
It's a
okay.
common benefit.
Yes, it is. But this is not a weight loss cleanse. This is not the purpose. This is not the goal. Yes, that may happen for some folks, and
Fun
it's
benefit.
yeah, it's just a fun little bonus benefit
those
that,
that-
yeah, exactly. So don't get it twisted, sister.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. We've got the 7-day cleanse. Okay. Let me just look here at my notes and make sure that I am not missing anything else that we were going to talk about today. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with our viewers before we sign off for today?
No, it just, you know, like make sure you take time for you
Yeah.
and make sure you take time for, you know, that mind, body, and soul, like
Yeah.
that spirituality and
Yes.
connection. You know,
Yeah.
we lost so much connection this year.
I know, didn't we?
Yeah. And humor and
Yes.
laughter and love.
Yeah.
Like, and then love yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Self-care is so important. And patience and grace. Patience. Y'all are at home homeschooling your kids. I don't mean to laugh, but we talk about this like every week on the show. I am so sorry. Y'all are going through it. Bring some humor into your household. Bring some grace into your household. And don't forget, love needs to be right there at the center. And just don't put that expectation so high that it's an unattainable goal.
Well, and
You're
one
not supposed to be a
step.
professor.
Right? Yeah. Like one step, it might be like, I'm going to have a sparkling water
Yeah.
instead of soda.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't have to be like we have to change everything. I never exercise, so I'm going to exercise twice a week
Right.
for 20 minutes.
Right, yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I
Yep.
mean, steps towards wellness. Every
Yes.
step towards health
Yeah.
is a step. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we truly can be the best that we can be at every phase, because even at that phase, you know, as we're starting something new, we're being the best that we can be right now, today, in that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, good. Well, Dr. Carrie Getzmeyer, I thank you so much for making this
having me.
house call today. And I can't wait to have you back. We'll do a follow-up on these blood tests here for the omega and the D. And I know that y'all will extend grace toward me as I do to you when those results come in.
I mean, almost everyone's deficient.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
Just the way
is.
it
Isn't that the truth?
right?
Yeah, it
That's what we
really
love
is.
about the testing. Is
Yeah.
Because people were like, well, I've been taking it. I didn't know.
And proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, if
My
I
omega one was deficient.
Wow. Yeah. And of course, and you know, yeah. So
I was
it's like we're
taking it.
totally preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I mean, here
Before I tested it. Yeah.
I've been supplementing for
Dose.
20 to 30 years, depending on which supplement it is.
Yeah.
But when you tested me a little over 2 years ago, D was one of the areas I was deficient in. And I was shocked because I thought I was pretty well versed in it. And I had been supplementing, in the off season when I wasn't getting that natural vitamin D 20-minute torso exposure every day, right? And no, I was deficient. It's like, okay, break it down. I mean, proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
Yeah, we believe in science. We embrace science.
We do.
And we partner that with faith and finding that place and that space of balance in our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Carey, thank you so much for being my guest here today on the Solminod Show with Sonya. I can't wait till you come back.
Me too.
All right, you guys. We have great things in store for you. Stay tuned in here with us on social media and also on the website. You guys can watch this later on at your own convenience. And please share the show. This is full of so much information for our viewers. We're going through enough. So, let's all take these steps together. Let's lock arms, virtually lock arms together and take these steps forward and just keep moving forward and be a people of progress, be a people of intention as we move forward and just trying to find and then maintain that place of balance, which is different for each and every one of us. So we want to also respect that from one to another. So y'all stay blessed and whatever you put your hands to do until next time. Ciao.